You're welcome to GH Today. I am Serwaa Amihere. This morning, I get the very rare opportunity to talk to Ghana's former ambassador to Germany, Mrs. Gina Blay, who is also the wife of the very popular Freddie Blay. Mrs. Blay, good morning. You're welcome to the show.
Good morning, Serwaa.
How
Glad
have
to
you
meet
been?
you, finally.
Glad to meet you finally, too.
Yeah.
How have you been? You look
Good.
very well.
Oh, thank you. I am back home and I'm well rested or resting. Maybe that's why I look well.
You're well rested. Does that
Yes.
mean that you haven't been called back?
No, I can't be called back because I've served my term, 2 terms indeed, which is the first time for an ambassador in Germany. I served from 2017 to 2024. And once the term is ended, you come back and someone else will be posted to the place.
Okay. I mean, you've served 2 terms. If you were called again, would you go?
I doubt it. It rarely happens. So
I know, but
I have to look for something new to do, like being a grandmother.
we'll talk about all of that and even
Yeah.
focus on women in politics. Okay.
Yeah.
But your time in Germany as the ambassador, how was it?
Oh, great. Nearly 7.5 years. It really strengthened the Ghana government and German government's relationship on all spheres, or I'll say major spheres. Can I go on?
Yes.
Yes, especially in education. TVET was strengthened. Health, there was a lot done with the health, and then with security. Indeed, the Germans have virtually adopted the Kofi Annan Center for training, and we are members of the Compact for Africa, which was sort of policy direction by the German government, and we're one of the pioneer countries that was adopted. And with that, a lot of German businesses came into Ghana. Indeed, it's through that, the Compact for Africa, that Volkswagen, VW, came to be established in Ghana. And a chocolate factory called Fair Afrique is based in Suhum. You should visit, it's very beautiful. These are all German companies, and a whole lot of other German companies. By my last counting, 2 years ago, it was like 40 German companies that are currently working in Ghana in various spheres.
That's some great achievements.
It is indeed.
Are you proud of yourself? Certainly, you must be.
I am proud of myself.
What kind of embassy do you think that you left over there?
I think a positive embassy in case of my staff. I was the ambassador, I was the leader of the house, and I don't know if you may be aware, but it's one of the countries that our former president, Nana Akufo-Addo, visited quite often on the invitation of the German government.
Why was that so?
Because they found, like I told you before, Ghana became like a very good collaboration. I won't say we are their baby, we are equals, equal partners. So we invited, our president was invited for a whole lot of issues, some on immigration or migration, mostly on security. Every year he was invited to the Munich Security Council meeting in Munich. He managed to attend about 3 or so because he can't be there all the time. And that helped. And in the same way, flipping back, Ghana was one of the countries that 2 German chancellors and the president of Germany visited. When I first went in 2017, 2018, President Steinmeier was here.
Okay.
And they opened a migration center to help Ghanaians migrate, those there, to come here to lend their support to German businesses and to Ghana companies. The next year, the famous Angela Merkel was here to visit. That was a big issue for Angela Merkel to move into your country. And that was soon after that we established Volkswagen. Then last year, or yeah, thereabouts, Chancellor Scholz, the outgone chancellor or outgoing chancellor, also visited Ghana. So Germany is the big powerhouse in Europe in terms of employment, money, everything. I mean, it's the biggest. And for Germany to collaborate with Ghana is a big deal. Interestingly, our present president was also in Germany twice when I was there.
Okay.
He came on various, one for a forum, the second one recently to the Munich Security Council. So you can see where it's going. It's a continuity thing for Ghana and Germany.
Okay. I mean, now that you have mentioned the current president, I know that you've been back here. You said you've been well rested, but I know that you've been monitoring a lot of things because you own Daily Guide as well. How would you rate President Mahama's administration so far?
Rating? That's mathematical, isn't it? I don't think, to be fair,
to rate it.
To rate
what do you make of his government so far then?
Okay. I was a diplomat. I still would wish to talk or think like a diplomat. For ambassadors, you talk on behalf of your country and of your president. And we have a president. He's just come in 4 months. It's April now.
Yeah.
And I've known him a bit because I was a journalist. All journalists knew President Mahama. And he knew me as well. And I think he wishes to do well. He has said it that this is final term, and he wants to be remembered for certain particular issues. So it's my hope and prayer, because we want Ghana to be well. And my hope and prayer that he will be able to keep to our aspirations and to his own wishes to do well for us, by us, and by the end of his term, we will all say, Aiko, President Mahama, you've done well.
What was your relationship with him like?
Friendly. It was friendly because we are in the media. He used to be a media person. He visited us once in a while. Indeed, one of his closest aides, Wisdom Awuku, was given to him by me.
Oh, wow.
He visited us in the office. I said, Wisdom, follow the president. Follow the aspirant as he was then. I think he was going to be vice president. Yes. Just as we had given someone to the NPP as well. Okay. So, and the young man is now a doctorate holder, has been close to President Mahama, and I'm proud of that.
How is your relationship with him now?
With the president?
Yes.
Since I came, I haven't met him. He is busy, and I'm resting.
Okay. I see how diplomatic you are being with your answer in terms of how he has performed. Yes. But the government under which you served, how would you rate that government? At least that one is out of power. How would you rate its performance?
I served under that government, and I would say President Akufo-Addo was one of the hardest working presidents that I know. At least I knew him because he was president. He visited Germany a number of times. He wasn't lazy at all. I wouldn't say that. If someone says he was lazy, it's not true. He worked hard. He also, like I've just said about President Mahama, wanted to give the best for Ghana and of Ghana. Along the way, there will be shortfalls. There will be problems. There will be challenges, which many people talk about these days. So, in my view, and having worked closely with him, as I said, he visited one of the countries in Europe that he visited most times was Germany. I think he tried his best. We should give him that.
But looking at where you were and the state of the country, that you are back to now, would you still say that he tried his best? Because there are people who said that he didn't do much for
Well,
us
it
at
showed
all.
in the voting pattern. People voted his party out because they were not satisfied. That's why I said there were challenges. He himself admits it. I don't think he shies away from it. He will say, I give up my best, but the best was not good enough for the country. That's why they voted his party out. He is gone. What can we say? Let's hope for the new one. Let's hope for President Mahama that he will do better than we expected President Akufo-Addo to have done.
Okay. Speaking of President Mahama and your relationship with him, I mean, we all know that you own Daily Guide. There are people who said that you were quite soft. The newspaper was very soft on President Mahama because of your relationship with him.
Are you sure? I don't think so. Daily Guide, I was I would say administrator. I wasn't the editor throughout my years there, and I was there for quite a long time before I left. People rather say the opposite of what you are saying. Maybe in relation to President Rawlings, we're harder on President Rawlings because we kept on the news on him. Our take was that we wanted a democratic country. The military shift over, we felt, had not been felt too much or well done or taking effect. So we wanted more of that. So Daily Guide, from Kweku Baku, when he was editor, to Kwesi Baini, to all the editors that passed through our hands, our focus was there to get a good democratic country for us. When President Mahama came in, I think we carried the news as it was. We were not soft on him. I don't believe so. I won't say that. No.
Okay. Because we have a very limited time for this conversation, there's an area that I really want your thoughts on. What are your views on the concept of family and friends in the president's appointment? I ask this because of your appointment as ambassador to Germany, and it was one of the issues, or your name happens to be one of the names that comes up very strongly when the opposition at the time, NDC, was talking about a government of family and friends, because your husband is the chairman, or well, at the time, of the party and business partner of then President Akufo-Addo in the 90s. What's your view on it as opposed to competence?
One, my husband was never a business partner of President Akufo-Addo.
Wasn't?
They were all lawyers. They were both high top lawyers with their own chambers.
Okay.
Their fathers and uncles were in the independence movement.
Okay.
Lawyer R.S. Blay was one of the foremost of the independence movement, just as President Akufo-Addo became the president of the country. So they were colleagues and lawyers, and they were both in parliament. In terms of business, I don't know about it unless Freddie will tell me, which I'm sure if it had happened, he would have told me by now. But coming to your question of family and friends, regarding me, I asked President Akufo-Addo why he chose me, and especially to Germany. He said, you did well managing Daily Guide, and you are a woman. That's why he chose me. And why I chose you, sort of quoting him, to Germany is because of Angela Merkel. I admire that woman, and I think you've shown yourself as a strong woman in the media sphere or wherever it is you are. That's why I've selected you to go to Germany. I am an Ewe from Tabiepe. My husband is an Izima from Ekwe. We have no relationship with President Akufo-Addo from Eastern Chebi side. No, we don't. So if it's us, this Blay family, talking about family and friends, I don't think we qualify for that.
But you had heard your name, I'm sure, in the conversations about family and friends. Hardly.
I think a few people may have mentioned that because I'm the chairman's wife, but many people didn't believe that. I was known more for Daily Guide than as Freddie Blay's wife.
But what do you generally make of appointments, you know, of families who may be qualified, competent, but because of the tag as family, there's a conversation that you need to move on or overlook them and choose other people who are more competent, as they say, that instead of choosing your family, there are other people who are equally competent?
I think it's a dangerous move. I don't think we should encourage it. Family and friends. Well, what's family and friends? You are going to appoint all your children. If you have 7 children, the 4 boys and 3 girls to the various ministries. It's even dangerous for the family because political appointments are some way be. I'll describe it that way. It's a different kind of animal. So I think you should leave your family out of it, family first, out of it. Friends, I don't know who are friends. Some people may pretend to be friends when you are in power, but quickly fizzle
Mrs.
out when
Gina
you are
Blay,
not in power.
I get how diplomatic you're being, but
Yeah,
you
what do you want me
run
to
a
say to
newspaper.
you?
You saw the list that the NDC put out. These
They
are
did?
governments that, yes,
Yeah.
that you served under. They mentioned so many people. They mentioned Gabio Chiridako. They mentioned the finance minister. Your name was there. They
Really?
mentioned the president's daughter. They mentioned quite a number of people. Didn't you see any of that?
I didn't see any of
Okay,
them.
well, I'm telling you.
Okay.
And there was strong
I think my
opposition.
name should not have been there. I don't want to speak for the others, but I think my name was wrongly put.
Why?
Why not?
You're the wife
I
of
worked-
the chairman.
And I was a managing editor of one of the biggest privately owned newspaper in Ghana.
Well, Ken
Are we not proud of that?
Extremely proud.
Yes.
But Ken had a business of his own as well. Many other people
I
have
don't want to
businesses
speak
of
for
their own.
Ken, and I don't want to say what NDC is saying.
Okay.
I want to speak for myself, which I think that with the position I held and with the work of over 30 years of journalism that I did, if you appointed me ambassador to Germany, I think it was okay. And I did a very good job. You can ask any of the Germans. Don't ask Ghanaians alone. Ask Germans.
Okay. And, you know, as a woman, and being, I'm sure that you identify as a member of the party right now, how was it for you? You know, you were not directly involved in politics, but as a diplomat, being a woman, how was it?
The party was never my thing.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't say.
Okay.
Because I'm a journalist. So journalism. That's where you
But
are.
journalists have, you know, have
You shouldn't
alliances
be.
as well.
You shouldn't be. Even if you align to a certain party, still do your work as a journalist. I
Why
strongly
didn't you
believe
turn
that.
down the appointments then?
Why should I? I told you just now that I believe I was qualified for it. Are you not proud of me as a woman?
I really am.
Thank
I'm
God.
happy to be.
Amen.
I'm happy to be talking to
And
you.
I'm glad I did a very good job in Germany.
So if you were president, then you would not appoint your family members.
No. And I was not a family member.
You're the chairman's wife.
The chairman is not a family member. I just told you.
But
He's
they
from
were not
Nzima
friends.
over there.
They're not friends.
Chebi over here.
Weren't they friends?
Friends, okay. But you have to know people.
You don't agree that your appointment was because of your relationship
With
the
my
chairman?
husband?
Yes.
No, I don't believe so. It was more with Daily Guide.
What kind of relationship did you have with Akufo-Addo for him to have picked you among all the other women who had businesses in the country?
You know what? I may recall the night he was, well, the EC may not have spoken that night, but it was clear he had won the election in 2016, Akufo-Addo.
Okay.
He stood in his house at Nima. You know, our office is right behind his house,
Yes.
in the alley somewhere
Yes.
there. He stood in the house, thanked a number of people. He thanked, if I may recall, Captain Kojo Chikata, Kweku Baku. I was in the newsroom at that time. We were doing the final pages. It was like 6:37. He mentioned my name, Gina Blay of Daily Guide. I said, how? I was surprised, but he did. That means he appreciated the work we had done. I'm sure if you asked President Mahama a similar question, if he still recalls my name, he would have said Gina Blay of Daily Guide.
So you believe that it's more
Of my professional
your
career.
professional career.
Yes, I will stand by that any day.
okay. I'm
Yes.
happy that you mentioned journalists are not, you know, losing their heads. But what do you make of appointments of journalists by presidents when they take office?
Right now, I hear about 10 or so, including my own friend Raymond Archer, has been appointed to various positions. What's wrong with it? They are Ghanaians. They are professionals. If a president believes that a journalist, if a doctor can be appointed, why not a journalist? We are professionals, you know. We learned this job, went through the university, had various degrees. Even in Germany, I was still in school to do my MA. So as journalists, if they are appointed, I believe they deserve it. I'll clap for them anytime.
Okay. I know that you say that you were not so much involved in politics. I didn't see you to be so much involved in the politics. But we have been going on a campaign to empower more women, you know, to be involved in leadership positions and whatnot. You're coming from a country which had Angela Merkel and all that. What do you think we can do as a country to even push the affirmative action, you know, goal?
Women should be bold. They should not be too shy and too scared and too sensitive to criticism. That has been the bane of many women. I remember when the parliamentary democracy started, many women said, oh, me, I won't go there. They will insult me. Truly, they will insult you. I mean, they call them all kind of names. You are aware of that. They call all kind of bad names to women in particular. And many families or husbands will say, hey, don't go there. Nah, they will insult you, and insults, they don't kill. At least you go into your room and cry a little and come out. Men are also get rattled a bit. I've been with a politician. I've known this man as a politician since I started university at 19 years old. That's when I met him. And I've been with him up to now. And when I first saw him, he was on stage with his handkerchief vying for SRC president of the university. So even though I've never been at the forefront, I've been within the politics because of him.
Right.
All these years. So I will encourage all women, don't be afraid. Let them insult you, let them call you names, let them just forge ahead. Right now in Parliament, there are a lot of young women there, very pretty young women in Parliament these days. And I really would off my heart for them, you know.
Do you have any mentorship program for women who look up to you and want to be like you?
Well, if anyone wants me to mentor them, I would love to do that. I'd love to do that.
What do you make of the new crop of journalists that you're seeing now with all your wealth of experience?
There's a lot of improvement.
Okay.
A lot from where we came from to now. It's a lot of improvement. I see a lot of women on television, on radio, both in Twi and in English. And the kind of questions they ask, very bold and forward questions. You are one of those, and others at all the other television stations. I think we spoil it a bit when we become political animals in one faction here or there. We should try as much as possible for both sides, both men and women, to some may agree with me if I say to stay in the middle, because
exactly,
every media house has their own preferences.
Just like Daily Guide?
Yes, but at least try and look it, not too shifted.
Daily Guide didn't look it?
We looked it.
Neutral?
We looked it.
Are you sure?
We tried our best.
You know, speaking, you know, still on women, what do you make of the suspension of the Chief Justice? And I'm bringing my conversation to
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
What don't you like?
I've read the petitions, some of them. I've read her responses. The most difficult one I've seen was a money matter. And I've read her response to that. If for nothing at all, I mean, look at it quietly. I don't want to tell President Mahama what to do. But I think you are targeting women. Some women may not care. They'll say, well, it didn't affect me. It affected this other one. But it's proud when I tell my German colleagues that they ask, so how are women in your country? I said, we've had at least 3 women chief justices in our country. And they said, really? We haven't had that here. So it's a plus for us when we have that. Then you have a woman chief justice in your country, and now you are attacking her
Did you have the same stance when Charlotte Osei was kicked out as EC chair?
You didn't ask me. I would have told you the same thing.
What did you feel about it then?
That it shouldn't have happened. She was a woman. I thought it shouldn't have happened. I've been watching her on social media a lot. I admire her. I don't think she should have been kicked out, but it was done. I don't think this one should be kicked out, so I hope it won't be done. We don't need to repeat the mistakes. We should move forward. Johnny Walker, keep walking.
Okay, I just had a very extensive conversation with your husband a couple of days ago. Talked about the party's defeat and, you know, the plan to recapture power. What, in your view, should the NPP do, final question, to bring the party together to move forward?
They themselves have flogged it a lot, that they should be united. Nobody who is not united wins anything. A family divided can't move forward. So if they are saying it with their mouth, they should mean it in their hearts, that we have to be united and stop this kind of split conversations and personalities as they show on social media.
Who do you think is the best person to lead the NPP?
I can't tell you. I don't know. I don't know.
I'll give you options. There's Dr. Bawumia, there's Kennedy GHOne.
Either of them could do. Either of them could do. If
you were voting today, who would you vote for among the two of them?
If I had a vote?
Yes.
It's my secret.
Very, very interesting. do you speak Dutch?
Deutsch.
It's Deutsch.
It's Deutsch,
not
yes.
Dutch.
No,
Okay,
Dutch
thank
is
you.
the Denmark one. Deutsch.
It's the Denmark one.
I tried to learn.
What did you
a
learn?
few words. Good morning, good morgen, guten Abend, that kind of thing. But I always fell asleep when they were teaching me. I don't know why. Maybe I'm too old.
Thank you so much.
More interestingly, the diplomats who go there, we have something in our head that we are living in 3.5 years to 4 years time. So why are you learning a language? But that's not, it wasn't a good excuse. I should have been more serious about it to have learned. Because I have grandchildren who are Deutsch. Yes, I have 2 grandchildren. Their mother is German.
Finally, I mean, you mentioned the sanitary pad and I didn't stay on it. What do you make of that policy anyway?
I don't know where it's going.
How?
I don't know where it will lead. Maybe it's a good initiative. I think it was an initiative of the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane. I think that was her initiative because she wasn't here that the President had to go and outdoor it or launch it, and people have been criticizing it. I believe if they done a study and they believe that's something that's worrying the young children, but I think there should be another way. Why can't we manufacture it and sell it cheap?
You've been a journalist for so long.
Yeah.
You know that there are young ladies who miss school because of their periods.
Really?
Is that not? Yes.
We should make it cheap so that they can buy.
But some people can't buy it at all.
Well, then maybe it's good.
What do you think? What's your honest opinion on it?
I think we should manufacture it and make it cheap. Cheap, maybe 1 cedi. If we can buy water and coconut for 5 cedis, we should sell it for a cedi. Let them feel they are buying something for. They buy panties. Let them buy their pad. I don't want a man buying pads for me. Yeah, let's manufacture it and make it
Is it a
very
man
cheap.
buying it or is government buying it?
Government. But let's make it. It's part of something we have to industrialize about. Manufacture it. Manufacture. Don't import it. Let's manufacture it.
Okay.
And let's sell it for a cedi token for the girls to buy themselves. This one, they feel like a government or a man is dashing them something. I don't like it.
Mrs. Gina Blay has fought a disease that a lot of people have died from. She had cancer I was not aware, but I was told. And she looks nothing like, someone who had cancer. Mrs. Blay, walk us through it. What happened? How did you fight it? What did you do?
Let me start by saying, how did I find out? And then how did I fight it? It's a disease with should I call it an ailment? It's not a disease so much as an ailment with a lot of negatives around it. I thought I had a dream. Maybe it was my psyche. But I know I woke up one morning and I felt a lump in my breast. So I even called my husband beside me. I said, Freddie, I think I have a lump. Jokingly, he said, get away, you are lying. So I said, touch it, touch it. I think there is a lump. We both touched it. There was a lump. So he said, go and see Professor Frimpong Boateng, that time of the heart clinic at Kolebu. So I went to see him. They directed me to do biopsy, took it to South Africa in 2 weeks of sitting on tenterhooks. It came back positive that I had breast cancer in my right breast. So what do we do? In fact, sitting in front of you like this, he said, yes, you have cancer. I said, Prof, the C word, I couldn't even pronounce the word. I couldn't. It's so heartbreaking. I said, C word? Is that what you started crying? Anyway, what will tears do? You have it. So he said, your best way is to do the surgery wherever you wish to do it. That was in 2008, so February 2009. Fortunately, I have relatives in the US. So I went to my sisters in the US and went to the Mercy Clinic, and they had a surgery for me, removed it from my right breast. It means cutting off some things and some things. So they wanted me to stay for chemo. I said, no, I can't. I was with my son, Kwame. I said, it will take too long. It's very disheartening, very disheartening. I know I nearly died, just like this, but I won't go into that too much. So we came back to Ghana, went back to Kolebu, and started the chemo, which lasted for 1 year. Every 3 weeks, you go for this injectable into your arms, and it's not easy, Serwaa. You throw up, and throw up, and throw up. You come back, and for 1 week, you feel terrible. You feel like dying. I don't know what death or dying means, but you are not happy. What helped me to get through it, as I'll say, my family. Freddie was always at me. Get up, go to work, get up. Well, just like I was telling you just now, that he's always giving you orders. Say, do this, do that. Eat. Don't say. So my office didn't even know that I was going through it. All they knew was that I traveled for about 2 weeks, come back, and some days I'll miss a Friday, if it's a Friday that I had to go for the chemo at Kolebu and so on. So we went on and on and on, and it takes like 5 years to finally go away, or they'll say you are off the remission, you are for it not to return, then they assure you. But before then, the fear is always that it will come back maybe in the other one or something. But what I would like always young girls who ask me about it, a few people got to know, is that stay positive. You can't be positive by yourself. You have to have family and friends with you for you to be positive, because it's an issue that preys on your mind. For one, you know that it's something that can kill you. Really, it's killed people. Mm-hmm. Whilst I was going for chemo, I went to it used to be the second floor of the surgical block of Kolebu, and the cancer women were there. Plenty, many of women, breasts, horrible, horrible, horrible. You go there once, you don't want to go again. And I never went back. I didn't want to see. So it's a time where you need, really, that's when you need a family and friends, not for government job, but to keep you alive and going. So the advice I'll give to many of us is that always check. It's not only the breast, these days it happens anywhere. I had a colleague in the embassy in Germany who had it in her stomach. She nearly went, but Germany being so good, they treated her till she came back to Ghana. So always be alert to your body, whatever changes, whether a lump, a pain or something, be alert to it and immediately see a doctor. Immediately see a doctor to deal with it.
You know, you talk so much about family support, family stress on it, your husband. I don't know if you have noticed, but a lot of women these days are not so big on having families. They say that marriage does not make a woman whole. I'm sure that you've heard it. What are your views on that?
They prefer being single? Well, I've been married for so long, I don't know how it is to be single. But I think even if they were not married, they should have friends and some family members who can help soliciting.
Does marriage make a woman whole?
I don't know. It makes you happy and sometimes unhappy. It's like this, like that. But you keep on going on with it. There are challenges in everything. You know, in marriage, in your work, in boyfriend, in girlfriend. There are challenges in everything that you do. So I don't know what it is. What is my happiness with marriage is that through it, I have my 3 lovely children. And that makes me very happy and proud.
Okay, in all of, you know, your fights with cancer especially, what did that tell you about our healthcare system? I know you had your chemo here, but you had to go to the US for your surgery. And you even mentioned your friend who had a cancer in the stomach, but thanks to Germany, who did so well.
Our healthcare is a bit below par, I would say. It's really a bit, but the doctors around, they are trying their best. Maybe it's for those in charge to make sure they have the supply of logistics that they need for our health care. You know, for instance, when I was doing the chemo in Kolebu, I saw the chemo hospital in Maryland. Nice place, the women were seated there doing their thing. The Kolebu one, even the chairs that we had to sit in, I saw a hole in the chair. So the doctor, because Professor Frimpong Boateng brought me, said, lie on a bed. They were kinder to me because of maybe Blay or something, you know. So, and from that time, 2009 to now, and we are still suffering that kind of, what is it called? We haven't added up. We haven't added up. I think we should pay more attention to the healthcare system. We should pay more attention. I'm not saying it's 100% okay in Germany or America or here. Over there too, people die of whatever, neglect or poverty or something, because they can't, if you don't have insurance, you are not likely to have the best care. But here we can do better. I think we should pay more attention to the health facilities, and sanitary pad is one of them.
You know, how then did it make you feel, knowing that we have all these challenges, especially with our healthcare, but a government was prioritizing building a national cathedral?
I wouldn't have supported that. If they wanted to do it, they should just have done it. You've done it, you built it. But the stretch along and the talk and the conversation. When our healthcare system is
so bad?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that maybe they shouldn't have started at all.
Do you support the national cathedral idea?
There are mosques around, so if there's a national cathedral, what's wrong with that? And what I know from other countries, cathedrals take a long time to build. There's one which is being built in Cologne, in Germany, since the war bombed it. Since they bombed it after 45, it's still being rebuilt. Cathedrals take a long time. Maybe they shouldn't have sunk that much deep money or make it fancy like it was done. I think it was too fanciful for the time in which we were. They should have paid more attention to healthcare, more to the education, more to industrialization. We've got to industrialize. We've gone to industrialize. That's why the Germans were always inviting us to come, look, 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 look. We've got to industrialize. If you don't industrialize, we won't get anywhere.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Gina Blay is Ghana's former ambassador to Germany. She just returned, by the way, looking very well rested. And also the, as she calls, you want me to call you the administrator of Daily Guide?
No. I'm retired.
You're retired?
Yes, when I left, my children took over.
Okay.
Yes, they've been holding it till now.
But she's a veteran journalist as well, and I'm very honored to be sitting and talking with her. Thank you very much for being on the show.
You're welcome.
Stay with us. There's more after the break.